Game on! We got another semi-final, everybody. A quarterfinal, actually. We're not in the semi-final just yet, but we are in the last qualifier for the Masters Clash, indeed, number 4. And if you guys actually think that this right now has already happened, you are not wrong. This is a matchup that we've seen in the third qualifier for the Masters Clash, but the teams, they meet again. Inting for Ruby, they have another shot to take revenge of the Hardos. The Hardos are still not qualified for the Masters Clash yet. This is going to be their best opportunity to make it directly into the main event, so they don't have to play through the last chance qualifier. So in case that you missed it, teams that win one of the 4 qualifiers are directly qualified for the Masters Clash. But the other teams that don't qualify directly, they are not able to win a tournament. They still gather points depending on how far in the tournament they go. Quarterfinal, semi-final, and so on and so forth. So all these teams, the top 8 of them, well, they get points, and there's a ranking, and in the top 8 of them, they have a last chance qualifier where they can still make it into the main event, of course. But nobody wants to do that. You want to qualify directly, you don't want to go through all of those troubles. In qualifier number 1, feel the heat and like the mix, wash the heat. They qualified. They got picked up later by an organization, so they're now playing for 30k. In qualifier number 2, Chili Mountain made it, and in qualifier number 3, the Donuts qualified. And everybody kind of had the Hardos the entire time on their list of teams that they think should qualify directly. But so far, it hasn't happened. Now they have a pretty good shot, especially since 1 or 2 of the other good teams, they're actually not playing. As I heard, Team Power Spike disbanded, so they're not going to continue to play together, so they are out. It's another team that the Hardos faced off against a few times. And Team Arthurs, who are currently, I believe, 2nd in the point ranking, they also are not playing today. As far as I know, some of the players just couldn't make it. But that is the best shot for the Hardos to qualify directly. So they are going to try to make it into the grand final and then qualify for all of this. But the first thing that they got to do is they have to take Inting for Ruby out. And, well, this is a best of 5 series. Our first map is Infernal Shrines. We get Chris on Sonya right away. And we get the Tigers pick on Infernal, as so often. They really like to play with Tigers on Infernal Shrines. Odin, great tool. Bad Benny, he has a little bit of a... honestly, he's a little bit obsessed with Varian lately. Not that Varian is a bad pick, but the amount of Varian picks that we're seeing from Bad Benny in the last 2 tournaments or so is getting a bit crazy. So, yeah, Bad Benny with Varian after Varian after Varian. He's a little bit obsessed with the guy. So, we got Jojo, we got Hogger. Both of them taken for the red team. And it's ban time. Just waiting for Hazo at some point to lock Sergeant Hammer in again. But it's Lucio that they're getting rid of. Okay. They themselves also don't have a support yet. And there's the Cassia ban. So Medivh is banned out. Stukov, Uther, and Lucio are all banned. I mean, Uther is mainly banned because he also acts as a main tank, not only as a support. And Inting for Ruby, they've shown over and over and over again that they really like to play with him at the front line. Fish is locking that pick in every time he can. Especially as a first pick. I mean, they really like it. And, well, let's go. Blaze. Okay, Jojo Blaze. Old school. I like it. And Hanzo. Yeah, there's your front line. Blaze, Hogger, and Jojo. Blaze for the side lane. Mindtag on Hogger. That's a lot of pogging around that they can do now. Yeah, of course, still missing a couple of picks on the blue team side. Yasuo needs a support. There's the Ana pick. Granny is checking in. And what is Nick going to take? Are we finally going to see the Carrigan again? It's never going to happen again, is it now? Nick with Leo. All shall suffer. Okay, the janitor is in the house, and that leaves us our last pick for Nox. Yeah. Bit of hesitation over here. I expected that to be a bit of a quicker pick. I mean, they just need the support. Team. That should really come as a surprise to you that you have to pick a support now. Karazim! No Deckard Kane? Karazim instead? Alright. Karazim it is. Game on, everybody. Game number 1 in the best of 5 series. Yet the 4th qualifier for Heroes of the Storm tournament for the Masters Clash. The Hardos against Inting for Ruby. Hardos against Inting for Ruby. Infernal Shrines is the map. And Bad Benny for the blue team is playing Varian again. We got Hazo, so often on Tychus, for Odin on the Shrine. Nick is playing Leo. That's maybe a little bit out there. Normally Nick is more on the aggressive melee assassins, heroes that can dish out a bit more damage, but of course can also play Leo here, as Chris is playing Sonya for the team. We have Yasuo playing Ana at this point. And on the right side of the map, it's Nox on Karazim. Inting for Ruby is playing with Baby Houdini on Blaze. We got Hat on Hanzo, Mindtalk on Hogger, and the Fish is playing Jojo. But yeah, the variant setups. Ideally, you have a stun follow-up. Malfurion. Malfurion is not really in the meta anymore, but of course he could technically still do that with the root, but we're more so looking towards Stuka, but he was banned out, or anybody that has a stun. Big plays for Chris, and Sonya spins out of the way, but Nick nearly died for it, and oh boy, down to 300 HP, but another nice sleeping dart connected from Yasuo that has hit too. Journeyman for Hogger as he's already pogging down. And at the top lane, our 1 versus 1 setup is here. And what is that? Transcendence? Really? Wow. I mean, not only don't we see... we don't really see a lot of Karazim. NA plays Karazim a little bit more. They usually try to combo it off with Sylvanas, and then they get Mind Control into a 7-sided strike. That's a combo that we've seen a little bit, but that is not something that happens in Europe at all. I mean, I don't really remember when I've last seen Karazim in a tournament game here. And when you do see him, then it's always the extra damage on the auto attacks and not Transcendence. So this is like really, really weird to see him in that style. Let's see what they can do with him. That might be a bit tricky. For now, they're even trying to invade the opponent's camp. That didn't work out, and the Fish goes down. They were a bit too aggressive here. Trying to maybe have a bit of an impact early on in the game and just show that they're not afraid to go up against a team like the Hardos. But right now it's not working. Chris and his boys, they're starting to move around here. They have taken the first kill of the game. Could also now move into the bot lane and take another Khazra camp. But so far we're not seeing any moves there. And Chris is soloing now against Baby Houdini at the top side. So Sonya against Blaze is playing it out. The taunt is now in. And that is the more dangerous setup. Once that you have taunt for Varian, you can of course get those kills. And Varian is now starting to rotate. In this particular case, we also have In the Rhythm for Tychus. So we're not seeing the bigger they are here. They're playing this out with In the Rhythm instead. Still, the focus is on the grenade build, of course. And yeah, for here now, we got the aggro range once again. Okay, so, well, either way, we got top right. That's an early pick on the camp. I'm not quite sure why they're taking this camp already. Yeah, shouldn't really lock it in yet. I mean, the shrine gets taken. Don't get me wrong, the shrine gets announced, but if they take it right now, that camp gets defeated before this is even going to become a thing. Bad Benny has actually sniffed around there for just a second, but they see Baby Houdini, there's the taunt, and that is potentially a kill. Nox was trying to help him out. Hogger has also died at the bottom of the map. That's 3 kills to 0 now, and the Hardos are just crushing it once more. Yeah, this team, again, they've been memeing in some of the qualifiers a little bit. Sometimes they had a bit of a bad day once they played with the sub. But generally speaking, you can of course not deny that this team has an insane amount of experience. And of course also mechanical skill. But Ana gets taken down. They're following up. The attack against Hanzo nearly drops him. And maybe with another taunt they could have gotten a kill. But of course that was still on cooldown. So we have the first kill for Inting for Ruby. And it's time for the shrine. Yeah, no camp taken for the Hardos, by the way. They defend the top, that's it. But it's a freebie on the objective. They're getting this Punisher without any problems. And of course, another big lead is the experience that they have. That means level 7, whereas Inting for Ruby didn't have the extra talent. Was one of the reasons why they never even moved into the middle to fight for the objective. So that was a big one there too. And well, here we go. Here comes the pull over the wall. For the defense, Bad Benny is providing the vision and is coming in and trying to set the taunt up here for the team. They want to take at least the wall down. I mean, again, it's a really, really strong Punisher. If you have a Frozen Punisher, you're normally able to do a lot of damage here. And they're already trying to move in for Ana. Nick is going deep for it. Yeah, the mace to the face. He's mopping the floor with them. But that's the fort. First one down. Nice. And a big Punisher jump too on top of that. Okay. Yeah, level 7 talents for both teams. Hazo is not really able to stack a whole lot. There's not really a lot of opportunities for him. There's not a lot of fights that are going back and forth where he has multiple opportunities to get his stacks together. So instead what we're seeing right now is a quick move straight up for the next camp, stealing that away. They are 1 level away from level 10. A level ahead, more than a level ahead of Inting for Ruby. And early game control is in their hands. They have a very, very good shot at getting this early level 10 and then pushing for more structures. And since they already took down the fort in the middle of the map, that gives them a big lead. And Inting for Ruby, they are just trying to stop the bleeding here. I mean, again, at the end of the day, for them it's pretty good that they're going up against the Hardos again, because that's extra experience, but they are hoping to participate in the last chance qualifier at least. And they are fighting to get enough points to make it into those top 8. So, could happen. But could also get a little bit dicey for them. And here we got the Eye of Horus now. The Variant came in and was looking for the taunt, but couldn't get it. The level 10 abilities allow the Hardos now to be insanely aggressive at the bot lane. They are trying for the fort. And Sonya at the top is already working on the next one. So they're just moving over here, just pushing them back. And this one is going to fall 100%. And top side, yep, Chris has done some solid work. Opening the wall up. Making even a play for the fountain, maybe. The fort at the bottom is now low. There's the Entomb. And they want Ana. And they're gonna take her down. Bad Benny with a big charge. Yeah, has already used the taunt. The fish goes down too. No chance for them here. 5 kills to 1. You have a level 10 against you. The only option here is to fall back and not fight. It's the only option that you have. At the top side, Chris... he's playing that 1 versus 1, and he actually pushed Mind Talk back, and he's doing the kill! He's getting the kill! Chris, in a 1v2, is able to set all of this up now. Check this one out. First, they're pushing at the bottom, and then here at the top side, he already performed well against Hogger. Now he's going into the 1 versus 1, is able to take him down, and that's the kill. At the bottom, they're still pushing. They open the wall up at the keep. Now we finally have heroic abilities also for Inting for Ruby, which gives us the palm, and we got the falling sword. But oh boy, they are murdering this. Okay, they're going for the engage. They're trying to come in. Entomb is being used, and here's the ult on Hanzo as they're trying to connect finally a bit more damage to get the kill in. Jet propulsion would work well here. Bad Benny, yeah, he's gonna make it out. The jet propulsion gets stopped cold. Yasuo is beasting it with another sleep dart. Great play by him. Nicely done. Yeah, and the top 4 is down. This was a 5 versus 4. Sonya was at the top, and I said, like, guys, whatever. I'm gonna deal with it. Down here, they're winning even the 4 versus 5. The palm is in. Okay, so they don't get the kill. Sonya is stealing the camp away at the top. And this is just being... this is a disaster right now. I mean, they are not even losing the 4 versus 5 the way they should. So they are fighting over the shrine, and Sonya is just playing PvE. Chris is looking at the top lane. He's saying, like, well, the cool thing about playing PvE is they don't fight back. Right now at the bottom, can they get a kill? Yes, maybe. No, Hanzo is alive. There's the taunt. Don't tell me that one of the red team dies. No, they're fine. But you look at the top lane, and Chris is still sitting there. It's like, boys, distract them. I got this. So someone needs to go back, and I guess it's going to be Blaze. But Sonya has now successfully escorted the camp towards the keep and is starting to do some damage here. So this is all just falling apart, as you can tell. They're getting the objective at least, so there's that. And that's the Mortar Punisher, but boy, do they need to do some work now if they want to make this a successful trade, because so far everything has played out against them. The jump gets procced in front of the wall. That's a little bit of a fail here from Arzu. It doesn't have any consequence because there's nobody here to push together with it, so it doesn't really matter too much. But those are some of those plays that can really come back to bite you if there's a commitment from the opponent's team. Now, the reason why Inting for Ruby isn't playing with this is because Blaze is at the top and they don't have level 13. So it's twofold. Hogger, walls, he's not interested. He doesn't give a shit. What do you mean you got a wall there? I don't care. Pox out of it, and that's that. Drain build, by the way, for Leo. So Nick is going full drain in this game. And they need a 13. they need level 30. I don't know what to tell you. They need to soak the experience so that they can at least fight on an even talent level. But with 16 being the next talent for the opponent, that's a problem. They try to go for Bad Benny. And here comes the Eye of Horus again. And Yasuo is just keeping everybody alive. Yasuo just doesn't care. And he's continued to snipe too. Comes in with his Ana. In the back, the attack is there, and the kill against Karazim. Didn't even palm himself. The man of the cloth should have palmed himself as usual, but nope, didn't happen in this game. So yeah, that didn't get triggered. And now, of course, they are suffering even more as map control and the level 16 talent are soon ready for the Hardos. Guys, they're gonna have a 2 talent lead. They'll have a 2 talent lead in just a second. Not for long, but right now they do have it. So here's another Entomb. Jojo has to jump out. Is trying to reconnect. Chris is a bit low, but they're making the play here. And can they go for Baby Houdini? Not quite. And there is Hanzo. Okay. Yeah, Hanzo can't really do too much either. It's a problem. Bam. Hogger down. That keep is in so much trouble now. That doesn't stand a chance. Catapult's coming in. Camp is coming in. They want more. They want Blaze, and they're about to get him too. There's the oh my god, it's a triple. Guys, this game. This game. They got everybody with the exception of Karazim. The Hardos. They are not kidding around today, are they? They want to make sure that this is the qualifier where they finally make it into the Masters Clash, and they are opening this series up with a bang. 12 kills to 1 as they lock in the first map victory in the best of 5 against Inting for Ruby. GG, and well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2, Sky Temple is the second map between our two teams. And Inting for Ruby with a bit of an alternative setup on the first map, at least when it comes to Karazim, not only the hero pick itself. Talent build too. But now we're heading into the second map, Sky Temple it is. First pick, first ban was chosen by Inting for Ruby. As the loser of the map, of the first map, they could decide whether they wanted to have first pick, first ban or map choice. They decided in favor of the first pick. And that means that Sky Temple is the map choice of the Hardos. Now, we have Medivh banned again, and that doesn't come as a surprise. On this map, I mean, there's a couple of other things that you can do here. You can technically try and play, for example, with Abathur a little bit. Can slug it out, the Uta ban. As I said, in game number 1, makes perfect sense. You don't want to go up against him as a main tank right now. There's a couple of teams that really like that style. If you know that, then you just ban him out, period. And apparently they're totally done with Varian here, with Bad Benny just picking that guy over and over and over and over again. They are just simply banning him this time. Which could lead us to Bad Benny locking in Anubarak. Before he was on the Varian train, he played this with Anubarak a lot. Both of them obviously cater to a very similar playstyle. You're trying to make engages happen and then follow up with stuns, and ideally with Stukov and some quick damage. And that brings us to Stukov as a potential pick, so they could actually lock something in, like a Anubarak and Stukov, for example. That definitely would work for them now, if they wanted to do that. And that is a strong opening. But on Sky Temple, you can also play around globals a little bit more. We've seen Brightwing combos over here, too, that you could go for. And, well, first of all, yeah, Chromie is also not banned, so we get Chromo, Chromie and Ragnaros. What? The Ragnaros I didn't expect, and I'm immediately suspicious here. First of all, why Ragnaros? Second of all, why in the first pick spot? I mean, I kind of like that we are seeing him here, that's kind of fun, but why would you pick Ragnaros? And if you want to pick Ragnaros, why would you pick him this early? Because there's no way that it's getting picked away from you. Dehaka and Anubarak. So that already eliminates Bad Benny's second option for a tank that he usually plays. And it solidifies the front line for Inting for Ruby. So they got a triple combo up at the front. Okay. That is gonna be interesting to say the least. Not only on the support side, but also I really want to see if there's something else that comes through for the Hardos. Or if that is the big one. Sylvanas. I haven't seen Ragnaros in ages. Meta Madness he was played, I think. But in an actual game, been a long time. Okay, so Sylvanas gets banned out with that combo that gets played over there. I could have seen a Stukov ban too. Since they didn't pick Stukov, there's a good chance... since they didn't ban Stukov, there's a good chance they're picking him for themselves. Yeah, and that's why he gets banned now, exactly. So, with Yasuo on the side, you can still go for Brightwing. There's, of course, other choices too. Stukov would have been pretty neat with this. But yeah, if you want to go for Sulfuras, you still want someone that can give you an opportunity to lock the target down so that you can connect it for sure. But yeah, now it's going to become interesting. Are we going to see a little bit more craziness, or is Ragnaros the only deviation away from the normal build that we're getting from them? Arthas and Brightwing. Yeah, but Benny has played with Arthas also a bit earlier, and honestly, if you get a Howling Blast connected and Chromie follows up on it, and then maybe a Sulfuras afterwards, that hurts. That hurts a lot. Good luck trying to survive that. There's not a lot of heroes on the other side that will be able to withstand all of that pressure. Now the double pick that is going to finish the draft off for Inting for Ruby. We still need the support. And we need a damage dealer. Range damage dealer would be kind of neat. Nani? Diva and Anduin? Okay. Alright, game number 2 is underway, and of course it makes a whole lot more sense now. Diva was a mispick that was not planned. That's why the draft ended, because Inting for Ruby immediately announced, sorry guys, that Diva choice, that wasn't really the hero we wanted Hanzo, is that fine if we change? And of course, the Hardos had no problems with it at all. The draft was pretty much over already, so all they did is just like, yeah, lock that Hanzo in, no problem, we are gonna change our last pick. Obviously, that Valera last pick was also more of a meme than anything else, but once that they saw the Diva, they immediately said like, yeah, that's a mistake, and is it okay if we change? So, no problems on this level. I've never really seen a team have issues with this. So now we got Bad Benny on Arthas, we got Nick on Hogger, Hazu on Chromie, Chris on Ragnaros, and Yazu on Brightwing. So the last pick for Nick was Hogger. And for Inting for Ruby, the draft unfolding as we saw. We got Dehaka, played by Baby Houdini, Hat on Hanzo, Nox on Anduin, Mindtalk on Sonya, and Fish on Anubarak. So the only thing that really changed for the red team is the pick into Hanzo instead of Diva. We just chose the wrong hero there, but as they mentioned it immediately, there was no problem with a quick switch. So either way, we got this trade set up again for Bad Benny that he already used in some of the previous games. There's obviously a bit of an element of, I don't want to say trolling, but just like memeing around if you're heavily ahead and you had a great early game. So that's what they're playing out now. These are all best of 5 matches, so it's not like you're all of a sudden losing momentum of the series if you're just lose one map. So they feel that they are ahead here. We got the On the Prowl on level 1 for Hogger. More of an aggressive style with that one too. But one of the things to watch out for is definitely Ragnaros. I mean, that's the X factor here. Chris is going for the baby Rag, the only skin, of course, for the hero that really counts. And it's time to party. The Nubarak setup, the triple frontline on the other side with Hanzo as the main damage dealer for Hat. Camps are now taken at the 1 minute mark. Both of the Siege Giants are already en route to the bot lane. And Hogger is poking it out topside, trying to go for their own camp, and he's going to lock this in very, very quickly. So no problem here. And that's a really neat push that they have at top. At the bottom, the engage is happening, but Fish is eating a lot of damage. Trying to go for Chris and Hazu, but that didn't work out for him. Has to tap the fountain already early on. And by now we have a Blast Wave set up for Ragnaros that he is playing around. A bit of a deviation now into the Death Coil on Arthas as well. And the top lane is still in trouble, and Sonya is dead in the middle. Yeah, Arthur's moving in for her with the rest of the team. Quick and easy kill. At the top side, Dehaka definitely needs some help too, because that wall is going to suffer some serious damage if nobody is helping him. Arthur's is moving in. We got Hat finally in position. But still, that's getting a bit nasty. The first tower is already down, the gate is about to fall too. And all that damage is of course worth so much to you in the early game, because those temples will attack the structures directly. And if you now hold the top temple, that fort is gone. At the bottom of the map, they're also able to do some damage. Granted, here they were not able to take one of the structures down, but still, of course, matters quite a bit. We got Chromie now sitting in the middle of the map and doing her thing. But yeah, they're walking Mind Talk down. That could be a kill. That should be a kill. Especially with the polymorph, and Sonya is dead. Nice. Good job. At the bottom of the map, Chris is still soloing it out and blasts these waves away. It's a double temple control for the Hardos. Guys, they are crushing. They really, really want to finally qualify for the Masters Clash, and you can tell. They are playing a super aggressive style. They're way more dominant than they were in the previous events. Now, of course, Inting for Ruby is not quite a team that is on their level. We've been talking about them quite a lot. They're really trying to establish themselves, I want to say a little bit as a B team. And I think they're doing that with quite some success. But at the same time, can they really hold a candle to the Hardos? Not really just yet. Maybe in the future at some point. But the Hardos are also now in a spot where they are just trying to win these games as quickly as they can. They're really just giving their all. Maybe some odd picks every now and then, but outside of that, just being aggressive, since they have already lost 3 qualifiers. So they want to change things. They want to finally qualify here. Fort at the top is down. In the middle, more shots are now fired. And it seems like the second main structure is going to get destroyed too. And that is, of course, bad news. Now, Hogger went into the Seeing Red after initially coming through with the On the Prowl. So a bit of a talent deviation away. We have the quest completed for Arthur's. And he also went into the Icebound Fortitude. 2 forts destroyed. And, yep, that is some really good start in this game. It doesn't get much better than that. 2 forts down after the first objective wave? Are you kidding me? That is about as good as it gets. That is you crushing. Crushing. And it's 3 kills to 0 on top of that too. That makes it, of course, even better. So, yep, Arthur's going to play this out. All the way up at the top. Baby Houdini with the global. He's going to try and control the top lane. Especially for the objective at the bottom of the map. That's going to be important. If he can stay a bit longer, then maybe they will get the level 10 ability just in time so that they can at least contest this. But it is a bit unlikely, honestly. Yeah, look at this. They're coming in just on the cusp of hitting level 10. And there is Ragnaros already committing to the trade. Die, insect. Yeah, coming in with a Molten Core, doing some work here. Sonya could get attacked too. Mindtalk is having some trouble holding this one. And Chris is assisting the rest of the team as they are protecting those Siege Giants. There's the level 10, gets immediately popped. The army is out, and they're looking for the Howling Blast. They can't get him. Horderpult is in, and they're moving in for Anduin. And Anduin just doesn't stand a chance. Another fort eliminated. It's a speedrun. Oh my god. Yeah, the Hardos. They are crushing. Had barely makes it out. Could have fallen there too. And this is disastrous for them. They're opening the wall up. I mean, again, it's just structure after structure that is falling here. There's vision already granted. The Siege Giants are throwing rocks at this. The entire wall is down, and that makes the next objective even more impactful. And guys, we're talking about the second temple that is activating right now. The second temple phase. What a beating. What an absolute beating. That bottom keep is in trouble. I'm not even memeing, I'm not even kidding. That bottom keep is gonna fall. The bottom keep is gonna fall if they get the entire duration through. And Inting for Ruby is gonna try their best to fight back against it. But this is just rough. We are only 6.5 minutes into the game. And they just now realize what's happening here. They're trying to throw a Hail Mary at the boss. This is desperation. It's one of the few plays that they can try to make. It's a desperate move. It's a move that's not necessarily bad, but it's them just acknowledging, guys, we need to do something crazy or this is over. If we win the fight, we can come back in the game, we can take the boss, and we have a chance. If we lose the fight, we're not worse off than we were before. And they're losing it heavily. Anduin is down, so is Anubarak. They're going for a kill against the Haka. Boss is, of course, now being stolen away, and Chris is following up against Mindtalk at the bottom. He wants the kill here. Blast Wave and Meatball. Boom, Chris gets the solo kill. Boss gets taken. And now they can still put Hogger onto the bottom keep, the bottom temple, and take the keep down. Absolute disaster. But honestly, I am not faulting Inting for Ruby for making that play. I explained why they did it. They looked at the game and they said, guys, we're losing control of this completely. We have lost every single fort. If we are just trying to play this out slow, we will lose 100%. It's going to take some time, but we won't be able to come back. They will always run a talent advantage over us, and it's pretty much impossible. So they said the only thing that we can do is throw a fight at the boss, come in. If we win the fight, it's our ticket back into the game. If we win the battle, we can take the battle, we can take a few kills, we can take the boss. If we win it, it's fine. If we lose it, we are not worse off than we were before. Keep at the bottom is now eliminated. The wall opened up in the middle. And, yep, that is crazy. 8 kills to 0. Now they're trying to go for the kill against Hogger. Cocoon is out as they're trying to isolate him even further. But Sonya gets eliminated in another 1 versus 1 against Ragnaros. The level 13 talent is there already. Here comes the Molten Core again. And he's trying to burn Hat down. The Haka is dead. They're moving through the middle. They're trying to take another keep apart. The rest of the team is, of course, bot side trying to at least attack Chris a little bit and drop him out of the Molten Core, but the situation is not getting any better here. 8.5 minutes in with 10 kills to 0. It is a total demolition. The Hardos, they're going through Inting for Ruby like hot butter through cheese here on Sky Temple. There's the ult, and it's not going to do a thing. 4-level lead. They haven't even captured the remaining shots in the temple at the bot lane. They're thinking about, guys, what can we do? Can we go for the game? Can we go for core? Can we get a couple of kills here? Like, how do we end this? Death timers are insanely low because we're only at the 9-minute mark, so it's not sure that you can really end it this way. But everything is, of course, falling apart on the side of Inting for Ruby. It is crushing. There's a kill, there's the double, Nubarak down, so is Sonya. They go for the Haka, he connected the isolation, but that isn't going to help him. And now, of course, the core is wide open. That's 20 seconds that you have to take the shield down and drop it. The ragdoll just gets thrown around by the tornadoes. And with a level 16 talent and a 2-talent lead, they are locking in the 2-0 lead in this best of 5 Heroes of the Storm series at the Masters Clash over Inting for Ruby. Insane performance by the Hardos here on the second map as they take a W on Sky Temple. Okay, game 3. That was a bit of a speed run on the second map, but as I said, I want to stress this once more also for the people that are watching the YouTube video right now. The choice on the boss was one of the better things they could do. They were so far behind with all the forts lost that they just said, if we play evenly with the objective on this map, on Sky Temple, that attacks structures directly, we cannot win anymore. Our best choice is to force an even talent fight around the boss. If we win that fight, we take the boss, we take the bottom temple, and all of a sudden we are having a ticket back into the series. If we lose, we're behind anyways. Doesn't matter. So they threw a Hail Mary, it backfired, no problem. So from their perspective, that was actually a really solid choice that they made. Now Inting for Ruby decided that they want to play this on Cursed Hollow, which I find is an interesting decision because this is a map where they have struggled against Team Soulless and Soundless and a couple of others too. But the ban again on Uther and Lucio, we have a ban on Medivh, and I really want to see if they ban the Vikings. Because the Vikings were a hero that they struggled a lot. They didn't really know how to deal with them. And I feel that's what the discussion is about on their end now. Chromie could be banned. There's a lot of other things that you really want to get rid of too. Falstad, first of all, is eliminated. And let's see what they can do with this one. I also want to stress again that when you're looking at this gap between Inting for Ruby and Team the Hardos, keep in mind that Inting for Ruby won against a different team just in the previous round with a 3-0. So a lot of times people are looking at these games and they are saying like, hey, this is looking like my quick match, or what is this? Is this plat? What a lot of people just don't understand, or people that watch this, is that the margin of error that you have in these games are so much smaller than in any game that you could ever find in Storm League. So if Inting for Ruby would go up against a normal Storm League team, 9 out of 10 times they would kick their ass. But again, them against the Hardos, as you can see, that's a real different story. So there's huge gaps of coordinated play that you definitely have, but of course that's the beauty as well, that we have some absolute solid teams here like the Hardos, the Donuts, Chili Mountain, 30k. We get the Chromie early pick again. We have Sonya and Jimmy now. With Jimmy you can technically also go, I mean, this is also a setup that could go for bosses and try to get them quickly. I just wonder if we're going to see a ban on the Vikings on the 3rd spot, if Vikings are maybe even played. If not, if we're going to see something like an Abathur maybe for the Hardos. I mean, they can change things up a little bit. With a 2-0 lead, you can also become more aggressive, even than they were already earlier. And Nubarak and Brightwing, it's honestly not really a combo where you normally play Vikings with. The Chromie setup there with Vikings in an ideal world. You want to have a Sylvanas, you want to have a Greymane. You want something that really does damage against structures and can push the 4-man further in. So, yeah. Now we're having the last ban come out. And I could still see a Vikings ban just simply because I expect that they are a bit afraid of that hero in general now. Phoenix. Alright. Phoenix against Nick. I like that more than a Vikings ban. I was a little bit afraid that he would just look at this and say like, yeah, we just don't like it. Was a problem the last couple of times. So... okay, Stukov gets banned too. You can see that there's a huge focus now on bans on the supports and, well, main tanks. Tyrael. They try to backdoor them. Okay, they go for the Medivac sanctification play. They're trying to backdoor the keeps. Fair enough. That's why they banned Falstad. Illidan gets picked right away. Cocoon is in. The Hardos know exactly what's coming. They know exactly what's coming, as do we. They're trying to backdoor them. And obviously, Inting for Ruby knows that they know what's coming. And they just said, guys, we're losing so hard. We're getting our ass kicked over here. Let's just come in and just try to backdoor the shit out of them. That's why Chris locks in Zeratul. Why Zeratul, you might ask? Because with a Void Prison, you can actually come in and VP the keep or the core when they're attacking it and buy yourself a little bit more time. But I love how Inting for Ruby is just full on in their face right now and says like, fuck it, we backdoor. I love that. Gul'dan for the horrif... Could be Reign of Vengeance, honestly. Could be Reign of Vengeance with this one. I love it. They come in, no fucks given, and they just say like, let's go backdoor. Yes, we telegraph it. We don't care. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. Everybody knows what's coming. It's still funny. Let's go. Game number 3, Cursed Hollow. Let's see how far they can get with this. Here we go, everybody. The Hardos against Inting for Ruby. And we got a backdoor strategy for Inting for Ruby. Everybody knows it. The only question is, how do the Hardos react to it? And by the way, guys, if you don't know it yet, then you are in for a little bit of a treat. I'm not sure if they're going to be successful with it, but this strategy is something that you can use for Storm League if you have a 5-man quick match as well. The most important core elements are the Tyrael and the Morales pick. We're going to talk about that in a second. Let's introduce the boys and girls first. We got Hazu and Chromie for the blue team. Yazu on Brightwing. Probably going to be an Emerald Win from him to get them away from the structures. Nick on Illidan, Bad Benny on Anubarak, and Chris on Zeratul for the VP to slow it down. On the right side of the map, Inting for Ruby with Nox on Morales, Baby Houdini on Sonya, Gul'dan played by Mind Talk, Fish on Tyrael, and Hat on Jimmy. And they're already going for the bot lane structure. They're 5-manning it. Why do they 5-man the bot lane? Or why do they 5-man any lane? You have to take a fort down. The problem is they're going too deep and they're losing heroes. Yeah, Gul'dan is already dead. Okay, so what does this strategy do? In case that you've never encountered it, it's pretty simple. You're trying to get to level 10 at ideally the same pace as your opponent does. You pick Medivac for Morales, and then what you do is you simply 5-man with the Medivac and you fly to one of the keeps. This one, for example. You fly on the keep and you attack the keep with 5 heroes. You want to have heroes that can do some solid damage against structures. In this case, it's going to be Gul'dan, Sonya, and Jimmy. Jimmy will pick Hyperion. You could also get a Sylvanas. You could get a Greymane together with that. There's a couple of options that you can choose. And once that your opponent Hearthstones back and tries to defend the keep, you just time the sanctification on Tyrael, you try to use it as late as you can, and that will allow you to survive long enough to take the keep down. All you gotta do is take the keep down. After that, you're just trying to escape. If you can get out, that's awesome. If you all die, that doesn't matter either. So let's say you take the keep down, you all die. You need to destroy a fort on the lane too, and that means that the core is now open. So from that point onwards, you execute the same play over and over again, but instead of going for the keep, you now go for the core, and you try to end the game this way. This is insanely strong. If your opponent doesn't see it coming in the draft and bans out Morales against you or bans out Tyrael, this is incredibly strong. So some of the counter plays that you can see sometimes is a false set that can use Mighty Gust to push the 5-man away from structures. That's why false set was banned. And Zeratul for the Void Prison to buy yourself a little bit of time as well. Which is kind of interesting because Zeratul should have been banned for Inting for Ruby for this. Now, the problem, of course, is that the Hardos know that, and the Hardos are way stronger on a mechanical level and just as a team. They're also experienced. All these guys have played HGC. They know those strategies. They came up with these strategies. Team Liquid, Hazu's team, was one of the first teams to ever execute that strategy. So they know exactly what's happening here. And of course, what they are doing is they're just not giving them any breathing room. They're coming in with kill after kill. Illidan went a bit too deep and gets punished, but they're just trying to get farther and farther ahead. It's 3 kills against 1 now. But the experience is still fairly the same. So there's a difference, of course, as you can tell, of half a level, which isn't really too bad. But the bot lane gets opened up, and the goal is still the same. Take 1 fort down. Eliminate a fort so that you can then, after you take the keep down, completely go for core and end it. And that is what the Hardos are trying to stop. They take Gul'dan down again, and they are pushing hard. And Inting for Ruby is a little bit too single-minded here. Yeah, you see, he's exploding on the fort for that reason. They're trying to slowly work that down as they're going for level 10. Now, Inting for Ruby, they are, yeah, they're going they're a little bit single-minded here. They're really just looking at this and they're just tunnel visioning. So generally, this is a really strong setup, but of course, normally you don't go up against a team that is on the level of execution of the Hardos. But what I just explained, again, it will give you a bit of an idea here. So there's adjustments already being made. Gul'dan is going into a full-on drain build. Obviously, Inting for Ruby is just saying, yeah, this series we won't be able to recover by normal means. So let's just go for something YOLO and see what we can pull off with it. Maybe also practice that a little bit too, so that we can execute it against teams that are a bit weaker. Right wing is able to move out, and they're still doing some damage. The goal is still the same. Take a fort down. Try to eliminate a fort. This is still the same goal for them. They lost the tribute fight already, so one tribute is down. They get the level 7, but now that they're starting to take the top fort, there's the rotation again, and this is going to be the end of Gul'dan once more. And he is just dying. Now, with Illidan and Zeratul, they're diving in deep for this. But they're nearly getting it, as you can see. So they're sacrificing pretty much everything for the top fort. And they're dying too much. Now, if you're playing this, you can play it a little bit slower. You don't have to go that ham on it. Now, they're falling behind in experience way too much. As I said at the beginning, the idea is to hit level 10 roughly on the same level as your opponent. Roughly. But with 11 kills to 1, that's not the case. If you're trailing too far behind, your opponent is going to stop you too easily. And, of course, there's also a curse on the table. So what they are doing is they're really just YOLOing. They're sacrificing their life to take damage, to get damage on the keep. That's not on the fort, sorry. That's not really what you want. And the blue team, what are they doing? As you can see, they're hyper-aggressive. They're really contesting them wherever they can, because they know that they have the stronger setup in this now. But if you're trying to do this at home, then play it a little bit slower. Don't be that aggressive on the fort. If you see a chance, yes, go for it. If you lose a hero or two in the process, that's also totally fine. But don't sacrifice 10 heroes to try and take a fort down. That's not the way that this is going to wait for you. So they are literally just trying to int and sacrifice it for that. As predicted, here's the Void Prison. You need to take that. Emerald Wind, also as predicted. The gameplay is make sure that you take them away from the structures. Right now, the fort is down, and that is the first step to victory. One fort is eliminated, so now once that you start to backdoor the keeps, you can make the plays. But they're losing too many here. They're already 2 levels behind, and this is too much of a gap. 2 levels is too much of a gap here. So they're going to try and escape, maybe get a kill. Morales, yeah, she's going to fall. Sonya is already dead. Everybody else is also not going to make it. Kakuna has already been used. These two are dead in the waters. The only one that is able to make it out of the fight is Tyrael as he jumps away. But Maidekog is about to die, and Hat is not going to make it either. So that's now 15 kills to 1, and they're just trying to get the experience. The problem is, now they're going to get cursed. So this is one of the reasons why I say play it a little bit slower than they do right now. Yeah, Fish, he sees it, can't do anything about it. He was hoping that nobody would move in. Yasu! Maybe even just allowing this, but now the boss is taken. So what they're trying to do is get boss curse and then end through the bot lane. That would be the ideal one. And as I said, you can try this in your own games, but play it a bit slower. I hope that we're at least going to see one attack on a keep just so they get a bit of an idea of how powerful this is. Because believe me, if this gets played with teams that have a little bit more practice with it and played against teams that are more or less even, if you get that draft, no matter if your opponent knows what's coming or not, you are going to get some value. Nick is low and he's down. That's a good experience. They got the talents. They got the talents. So now they just need to get all 5 together and they can snipe a keep. The boss is already at the bottom of the map and I'm still not sure that they can make any of these plays because they could lose the game before that's even a thing. And they went into the Reign of RNG. Reign of Destruction for exactly that reason, because of the play that they are trying to make here. Boss needs to be defended at the bottom of the map. Sonya's back in 11 and then they're gonna go for the backdoor. So here they go. Yep. Sonya's going to be back in just a second, and I guess then they're just going to move in for it. There's no other play to be made. So, yep, there's a talent advantage 3 levels ahead. Again, the gap is too big. The gap is simply too big. But they're going to get the keep. They're going to get the keep. So Morales is already in position. They're all getting in. Sonya is for some reason not with the team yet. She's a little bit late to the party here. Okay, so they're all moving down to the bottom of the map. And you can see they're already here. Why are they here? Because they know exactly what's coming. Yasuo is just standing at the keep. He's waiting. He's the one with Emerald Wind. So he's just waiting this out. Bad Benny, yeah, he needs to be a bit careful over here too. It's all about vision at this point. And that's the problem for Inting for Ruby. Again, this strategy is strong, but also if you ever encounter the strategy, this is how you face off against it. Look at Yasuo. Yasuo is just staying at the keep, at the lane where the fort is destroyed. He's saying, the second you fly in, once you arrive, I Emerald Wind your ass and you're going to be pushed out. So this is a perfect defense against this strategy. And I don't think that they're ever going to make it to one of these keeps, or that they're ever going to take one. Illidan is now soloing this up at the top. The curse is finally over, so the lanes are going to be a little bit better. And Brightwing is not going to move. Yasuo is going to stand there, unless he's needed to TP in at some point. He's going to stay for as long as he can. Because they only need to protect this. They know what's coming. They know where it's coming to. So, yep, they're playing this really safe. And this is how you shut that strategy down. As long as they fall behind in the early game and you can just push this, that's fine. There's the engage. Brightwing can now come in because they're engaging. So now it's a 5 versus 5. But they survive. Do they make it out though? Do they make it past the gate? And indeed they do. Oh, the 5-man. 5-man VP. Big stun. But yeah, they got the top, the fountain. Either they fly in now or they're going to lose the top keep to this one. They are full in defense mode. I don't think they're going to ever make it to a keep. The problem is if they fly across the map to go for the keep, the Hardos can actually go through the top lane and end the game quicker than that. Incredibly good counter. Again, if you ever wondered, how do I deal with this strategy? If you're ever at the receiving end of the backdoor and you wondered, what can I do? This is a good example. This is a very good example of what you can do. They are keeping them busy. And look at the minimap. They got full control, full vision, full everything. And they're 2 levels ahead now. Vision is again granted. They're trying to get in a spot. And of course, what happens? They're simply attacking structures. Even if they backdoor the keep now, is there anything that they can do? No, because they're losing their core before they can take the opponent's core down. So they're starting to chase Bad Benny. He can easily burrow charge out. And that is just a beautiful defense from the Hardos. And where's Brightwing? At the keep. Yeah, Brightwing is still at the keep that has to be taken down. That's exactly how to do that. And of course, Inting for Ruby, they knew that the Hardos would know what this is. I mean, again, Hazu literally was one of the teams that came up with this shit. But still, it's beautiful to see how they shut this down. Keep gets attacked, top lane 2. Here it comes. They're starting to fly in. But that's an Emerald Wind right there. Yeah, Morales is already dead. Sanctification, and they simply VP'd the keep. Yep, everybody's already on the run. Chris gets attacked. They want this. And they're at least going to get the keep, aren't they? No, maybe not even that. Yes, maybe. Come on. They couldn't. They just couldn't. And Illidan is on the core already. Yeah, again, even with them knowing what's coming, by the way, that keep nearly went down. That nearly went down. Just saying, okay? So this is a super powerful strategy when your opponent doesn't know it. If you can ever get that through, then, yep, there we go. But now 1 keep is down. They got wiped. 22 kills against 2. But that was just beautiful. Oh, sorry. This is fun. This is really fun. I love that Inting for Ruby just tried it because, again, they knew that Hazu would know what this is. And now they're going to try the same thing. They're going to just say, fuck it, we're going to get the keep. We're going to lose the game, but it doesn't matter, we're going to get the keep. Sonya's showing in the middle, and here we go. Let's go for it again. And Brightwing has the Emerald Wind. There's the fly, and zoom. And Illidan is at the top. Here we go. Let's take the keep down. It's all that they want. Yes, there we go. Keep is down. Time for core. 26 kills to 2. Shields have at least been touched. Illidan has taken the top down, by the way, and he can now go for the core. Everybody got wiped again. 5-man wipe, and the boys and girls are having some fun here. But yeah, this is how you stop this. Now, of course, it wasn't made a little bit easier because they were so aggressive in the early game that they just lost heroes too quickly. But here we go. Easy peasy. The Hardos, everybody, with a 3-0 victory against Inting for Ruby. Nice job by them. Very nice defense. And honestly, it's a really good showcase to just show people how you defend this. And that is game. 3-0 victory. The Hardos move on to the semi-final as Inting for Ruby gets kicked out of the 4th qualifier for the Masters Clash. GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.